We are prepared with all of our equipment, all of our material. The forecast from the National Weather Forecast in Wakefield has given us an indication that this could be a wetter, colder winter. When we know that the winter storm is coming, one of the first things we do is we get our equipment ready. We get our trucks ready. We get them outfitted with the snow plows. We also get the spreaders set on the back. We start having conversations with our staff to make sure that they're ready, that they're taking care of things at home, and that when the time comes, that they'll be able to come in safely, work with us for a shift, usually 12 hours, and that's going to be 24 hours nonstop until all roads are clear and we've finished. With our strategy, we focus on emergency routes. We have identified 10 emergency routes within the city of Chesapeake, but they are your major north, south, east, west corridors. We'll focus primarily on getting commuters to the highways, get them to any special facilities like hospitals, and we want to make sure that we have connectivity of those emergency routes done or manageable before we go to our next tier. So our next tier is what we consider our primary routes. Primary roads provide an interconnect between the emergency routes. It could be simultaneous based on how a particular emergency route is coming along. And once we feel like we've gotten that manageable, we're going to go to our third tier, is our connector routes. And those are just more two-lane roads or connector routes that have a traffic network signal system in there. So ultimately, we're going to work those in a three-tier system. Some of our response resources are disaster network response team. So those are a group of contractors locally that can help the city with equipment needs, equipment and operators. So if there is particularly bad with ice, we can use that network of contractors to pull them in, to strategically place them to try to help us with some of the troubled areas. We also, depending on how widespread the storm is, we could get some assistance from VDOT based on how their response is and how their resources are. When we're notified of the storm's coming, it really is a team effort at that point, because it's not just Public Works. Public Works works closely with the Emergency Management Office and the City Manager's Office, but also the Public Utilities Department, the Parks and Rec Department, Development Permits. All those departments can help the Public Works Department with our response, with personnel, with staff, with equipment. Also, like I say, the Sheriff's Office, because sometimes even the inmates can help us get some of the sidewalks clear. A snow plowing operation is very brutal on equipment, so being able to keep our equipment on the road is critical, and that's where the city garage comes into play. They're a really big team member in this effort, because they'll run on shifts just like we do, and as our equipment's coming in and we're starting to see issues with our equipment, they're there to help us get that equipment back on the road as quick as possible. Before a storm hits, if the weather is favorable, we're going to treat the roads with a brine solution. So a brine solution is about 21 to 23% salinity. Anything less than 20 isn't effective. Anything over 23, 24 is a waste. We're going to mix salt with water, and we mix that in 1,000 gallon increments to a 10,000 gallon tank. Now we have 3 of those within the city. Dispersed into trucks, and what that does is adds a layer between the pavement and the ice. So the ice by itself on the blacktop can freeze to the road and be very challenging to remove. However, if we are able to pre-treat the road with brine, that ice, there's a like I said, a layer in between the pavement and the ice. So when we are coming through with our equipment, it actually it breaks up easier and it's easier to remove. Once we have the right mix, we get into our brine trucks, and we're going to start on bridges and overpasses, and then we'll also do some roadways inside of intersections, places where we know vehicles are going to have to stop, like a traffic signal. Our brine treatment will be a little heavier there, but that's all before a storm. Now, when a storm actually hits, then we will salt. That's just going to be raw salt on top of an icy condition. So on a multi-lane road, what we'll do is we'll have a staggered approach where the first truck is plowing off as much as it can. The second truck is staggered to the left a little and then is continuing to plow. And then the third truck is continuing to plow and also spreading salt. So then that salt will have a period of time where it sits on the road and melts the ice. And that same group will come back around to do another pass and to continue to work that ice down to get to the blacktop.